Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are making a really fun, super thick, quick and easy throw blanket. You can put this together in just a few hours, and it is a really simple blanket to make with a really simple pattern. You can make this just in time for Christmas. You can make it for any event or any person. You can make it any size. It's just a really nice, versatile pattern, and you can make this today. So let's go ahead and take a look at what materials we need and how to get going on this really fun pattern. So let's start out and take a look at the materials that I'm using for this project. For starters, I am using the Bernat Blanket Big, not just the Bernat Blanket, this is their big line. And you can see this is a jumbo 7 weight, and it has a recommendation of 25mm hook. Yes, there really is such a thing, and it's huge. The color on this, I should say, is called Firewood. This has green and brown and gold all through it. And just to be clear, this is not my preference for this yarn, but it is a request from my son for a blanket in this color. So I'm going to do that. If it was me, I'd probably get this really pretty light blue and make a baby blanket out of this, because it's just so soft and really a nice yarn to work with. The other thing that's nice about this is, since it is jumbo, you can whip up a blanket pretty quickly with this. So just a good one to try. Now that hook that we were talking about. Yep, there it is. There is the 25mm hook, and that's what I'm going to use for this. And then also a pair of scissors, of course. Now, normally I'd say a tapestry needle. I don't even know if they have tapestry needles that this would go through, but seriously, you can just weave in the ends with your fingers. You're not going to have any problem with that. So that's what I'm going to use. So let's go ahead and get started. So for this pattern, we're actually going to do what's called the moss stitch, and it's a really simple pattern that you can whip up really quickly, and also it only consists of a single crochet and a chain stitch. So even if you're new to crochet, you can do this pattern. For the moss stitch, you just need a starting chain that is any even number or multiples of 2. So it really just depends on how long, or how wide I should say, you want your blanket or your throw to be. So for example, for my throw blanket here, I'm actually going to do a chain of 36. If you want a baby blanket out of this, which would be a really nice yarn for a baby blanket, you can do it a little smaller. It's really just up to you. Just make sure it's an even number of stitches to get the moss pattern correct. So I have 32 right now. I'm just gonna add 4 more stitches here. Let's get 2 more on there. Okay, so now I have 36 stitches across as my chain, my starting chain. So the first stitch you want to make in the moss pattern is you want to do a single crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So of course you don't count this, so 1, 2, 3, here's the 4th chain from the hook. So go ahead and insert your hook, draw up a loop, yarn over, and draw through. There's your single crochet, okay? And then do a chain 1. Now that this here at the beginning, you've got 3 chains that we skipped. The 2 are going to count as a single crochet, and the 3rd one is going to count as a chain 1. So it's kind of following what we just did. So we did a single crochet and a chain 1. Now you're going to skip the next one, and then the one after that, you're going to do a single crochet, and a chain 1. same thing. Skip one, single crochet, and a chain one. And you're going to do that all the way across. That single crochet, chain one. So you see there's chain one spaces here, right? Do the single crochet, chain one all the way across to the end, and you should actually end with a single crochet in the very last stitch. If you did, you know that you counted correctly. So let's go ahead and do this pattern all the way across, do a single crochet in the very last stitch, and come back here and we'll talk about row 2. Okay, so I finished that pattern all the way across, and you can see I've got those chain one spaces in between each of the single crochets here, and then all the way to the end, and I ended that with a single crochet in that very last stitch there. So now we are going to start the next row. So to do that, chain 2, and turn, and you are going to skip the first single crochet. So if you remember when we ended with a single crochet in that last stitch. So here's your single crochet. Go ahead and skip that, and in this chain one space right next to it, we are going to put a single crochet. Okay, and then you're going to chain 1. There's your pattern. So skip that single crochet. Here's your next chain 1 space. Go right in there and do a single crochet. Let me get some yarn and a chain 1. Skip that single crochet, go into the next chain 1 space, do a single crochet and a chain 1 all the way across. Skip that single crochet, find your next chain 1 space, single crochet, chain 1. So do that all the way across. When you get to the end, just like we did, put a single crochet in the top of that chain from our first row. But let me meet you back there just so we can talk through that last stitch. Continue this pattern, single crochet in the chain 1 space, chain 1, skip that single crochet and find the next chain 1 space all the way across. And I'll meet you at the end and we'll talk about that, and then repeating until the end of the blanket. So we've gone ahead and finished that row. Same pattern as the row before, but doing the single crochets in the chain 1 spaces, and now you've created new chain 1 spaces in this row all the way to the end. And if you remember, we started with a single crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So we have these chains here from where we started. And what you're going to want to do in this last chain is do a single crochet to end the row. So we're going to go ahead and do that in that last chain that we skipped from the first round. And that's how you'll finish out this row. Okay? So there's the end of the row. Now you're going to repeat that. So to repeat that, you're going to do what we had just done, because that's the row you're going to repeat. So you're going to start with, let me get some yarn. Just go start with the chain 2, turn your work. It's a little bulky to move around. There we go. Okay, and we just did that single crochet there. At the end of that last row, we're skipping that and going right to the chain 1 space from the previous row, and you're going to do a single crochet in that chain 1 space and a chain 1. All right, and you're skipping that single crochet, finding your next, chain 1 space, and doing the same thing. So do a single crochet and a chain 1, and just continue to do that all the way across, making sure you're ending with a single crochet at the end, chain 2, turn, and repeat. And you're going to want to continue to do this until the blanket is as long as you'd like it. I'm going to shoot for about maybe 51 inches, somewhere around there. So I'm going to continue to repeat this row until I get to the length that I want, and then I'm going to come back here and we'll talk about finishing that up. Well, here is the finished product. I ended up having about 50 inches long, and this ended up taking a full 7 rolls of the Bernat Big blanket. So, you know, you can end it here, which is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to weave in our ends there. But if you want to, you can add a border around the outside. I don't really think it needs it. It's got a nice little automatic scalloped edge there because of the moss stitch that you have. And I just think it's a really nice pattern. It's really, really soft. Again, probably not my favorite color, but it was one requested. So you can pick any color. They have such really beautiful soft colors in this yarn, so I think you'd really have a good time with it. But go ahead and fasten off, weave in, and you are all set. I hope you really enjoyed this quick and easy, really super warm blanket. And as usual, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, put it down below in the comments, and I'd be happy to answer any questions or take any suggestions. Thanks, everyone.